Projection of vectors. Here is C3, communication question 3. Consider two non-zero orthogonal vectors A and B. Explain if the following statements are true or false. Now, orthogonal means that the two vectors are perpendicular, right? So that means if vector A is this, for example, then the vector B is at right angles. So that means they are perpendicular. That is the meaning of orthogonal vectors. Now we have here 5 statements and you need to explain why they are true or false. First one is scalar projection of B on A is 0. When they are perpendicular, then you have to answer, right? So answer each of these questions and then listen to my suggestions. First one is scalar projection of B on A is 0. Scalar projection of A on B is 0. Vector projection of A on B is 0. Vector projection of A on B is not valid. Vector projection of A on B is equal to vector projection of B on A. So answer these questions, provide an explanation, right? And here is my suggestion. Now, first one, scalar projection of B on A, right? So if you are projecting B on A, then you can say they are perpendicular, so it is 0 indeed. So this is true. Scalar projection of A on B is also 0. So in any orthogonal vectors, when the two vectors are perpendicular, then the projection of either one of them will be 0 on the other, right? You can also get this answer because when you are doing scalar or vector projection, in the numerator, you have A dot B, right? And the magnitude comes in the denominator, which in this case is B. Now, A dot B for orthogonal vectors will always be 0, and therefore, it is bound to be 0, right? So it is 0 for A perpendicular to B. So that is the reason, mathematically, which you can show. Now, the next part is for vector projection. Now, vector projection of A on B is 0. Is it true or false? It's a false statement. You know why? Because vector projection has to be a vector. So it is not 0, but it is a 0 vector. So that is an error, right? It is a 0 vector. Now, the next statement is vector projection of A on B is not valid. So this is also false. We know it is 0 vector, right? And the last one is vector projection of A on B is equal to vector projection of B on A. That's true. Both are 0 vectors, right? So that is true. So this statement is true. So this is a very interesting example and kind of gives you an idea of what projection is, right? Thank you.